Hey, this is Alec. Welcome to White Whale Comics. So today, talking about something near and dear to my heart, which is Valiant Comics. Mostly, specifically, 90s Valiant, with the exception of one book. When I was a teenager, 92 to 96-ish, I guess, um, that was when Valiant was just taking off and owning the comics world, mostly thanks to Wizard Magazine, which really was pushing them. And I think rightfully so. I think after it cooled down for a while and Acclaim bought them, they really got a bad rap for a while. But I think the stories really hold up, the art really holds up. I think they deserved the acclaim they got, no pun intended, back in the day. So I want to talk a little bit about some key books, since there are some movie rumors that you may want to pick up. And then I'm just going to go over my top 10 favorite covers. There is some overlap in those two things, so I will certainly address that as it comes. Alright, so on to the key books. I'm going to go through these kind of fast just because just want to notate their importance. First one we have here is Bloodshot number 6. It's the first appearance of Ninjak. Maybe a bit of a stretch for a key book for movie stuff, but never know. It was definitely a hot book back in the day. Next book, Harbinger Zero. Now, why I include this as a key book, it was a mail away. You had to cut a coupon out of Harbinger 1, which a lot of Harbinger 1s don't have coupons in them anymore because people were mailing away for this book. So if you are looking to pick up a Harbinger 1, make sure it has a coupon in it because it does affect the value quite a bit. There is also a pink version of this book, which I don't have unfortunately, but I'll put it here, which is much harder to find and worth quite a bit more. Speaking of Harbinger 1, that is the one key Valiant book, or at least key that I consider important, that I've never been able to grab a copy of at a price I'm willing to pay. So here it is. First appearance of Harbinger, first appearance of Faith, who has gained some popularity in the new Valiant Universe. Just kind of quintessential Valiant. Definitely going to be a movie, I would assume. So grab a copy if you can, but make sure it's got that coupon in it. Next book is the first appearance of my favorite Valiant character, which might be some spoilers for some of my favorite covers. First appearance of Rye, it's Magnus Robot Fighter number 5, which was a flipper book, and Rye is actually in the backside story. So this is the same comic, just flipped around. But first appearance of Rye. Next, I got a couple of books from the Shadow Man series. Shadow Man number 1, which is the first full appearance of Shadow Man in costume. And then Shadow Man 7 and 8, which are the first cameo and full appearance of Master Dark, respectively. Master Dark, I feel like, could definitely be a villain in one of the movies. So, worth keeping an eye out for these books. Next, we have a book that's actually been pretty popular now for a little while. It's been a hot book because of movie rumors that have been going around for a little while. It's the first appearance of Toyo Harada, who is the main villain in Harbinger. And it is Solar number 3, which I have a couple of copies of. Very happy to have grabbed them. One of them I got out of a dollar bin a while back. And the other one I've had since it came out, so pretty good profit on these bad boys. Not that that's what comic collecting's about, but it's a nice bonus. Really cool cover too. Didn't quite make my top 10, but Solar number 3, first appearance Toyo Harada. Next, we got a bit of an oddball. I just threw it in because it's kind of fun. It's the first published Valiant comic, and it is Super Mario Brothers #1. For some reason, I have this in a My Light. I'm not really sure, maybe just because it didn't fit in a regular bag. It's a bit thick. Looks like I bought this for $3. It's the price tag on the back, but might have been even cheaper than that. It actually goes for a few dollars now, as far as I know, or it did a little while back, but kind of just a interesting tidbit that they started off publishing Super Mario Brothers books. All right, last couple of key books before I get into my top 10. X-O Manowar #2, which is technically the first appearance of the X-O armor in story. And X-O #4, which is the first appearance of Jack Boniface, I think how you pronounce it, who is Shadow Man, but he is not in costume, but still maybe a key book. On to my top 10 covers. As I mentioned before, there is some overlap with some key books as well. So as they come up, I'll certainly be sure to mention them. The other thing is, unlike my last top 10, I tried to actually put these in an order of 10 to 1, whereas the last one I just did random order and then my top cover. It's kind of hard to pick, but I did my best. My first one, which is I guess number 10, is the only non-90s pre-Unity Valiant cover book. Anyway, it's a newer book from the Valiant relaunch. It's Book of Death, Legends of Geomancer #1. In addition to that, it was really unique because it was an incentive book, so like a 1 in 25, or 1 in whatever it was, much like the other companies do with variant covers, but this was actually a variant book. So it was a 4-part series that was a brand new story. Valiant said they're never going to reprint it. Who knows about that, but really gorgeous cover. On to number 9 of my favorite covers. This is also a key book, definitely a key book. Eternal Warrior #4. This is always a cover I really admired when I was younger. It's just dramatic and exciting. It's, you know, like I've said before, it's a cover that makes you want to pick up the book, which I think is important because you want to see what's going on. You know there's going to be some action in it and some excitement, so it grabs your attention. The reason this is a key book is that it is the first appearance of Bloodshot, which is the first official announced movie as far as I know. I heard it got Vin Diesel in it, which kind of weird, but Eternal Warrior #4, first Bloodshot, keep an eye out for it. Number 8 on my top 10, X-O Manowar #5. I really love the colors of this cover. You know, that the bold red and orange with just that splash of purpley, blue, and yellow on the side. With the X-O armor just taking over Auric. It's another book, much like Eternal Warrior #4, that just makes you want to pick it up. It's a bold image. There's no confusion. You can see it from a distance, and it grabs your attention. It's just everything I love about a cover. Speaking of Bloodshot, number 7 on my list, Bloodshot #1. This is a great cover. Barry Windsor Smith, who did a lot of the artwork for early Valiant, did this, and interestingly enough, first chromium cover ever made. Think about all the chromium covers from the 90s, but Valiant innovators don't get the credit they deserve. So where are we? Number 6, I think. This may be kind of a surprise for a favorite cover. It is also a key book. Solar, Man of the Atom #10. But there's nothing on it. To me, that's the whole point. This is a really bold choice to make a cover that does not have an image on it, and in fact, you can't even read the, I don't know if you can see, but you can't even read the title except for that it's slightly embossed. I think it was, a big risk to print a book like this and have it sit on the shelf. And I mean, again, you're probably going to pick it up because you're going to say, what the heck is that? A couple books have done this or something similar since then. But as far as I know, it's the first book to print a cover without a cover. Also, first appearance of Eternal Warrior. So I don't know that he's going to be a movie character, but hugely hot book back in the day. There is a second print, which looks like this. Confusing, right? You can really not tell the difference. So if you are going to pick this book up, make sure that you're getting a first print. I think it only says on the inside, but there may be a difference in the cover that I'm not aware of. It also, interestingly, has a signature by Barry Windsor Smith on it. So I guess he designed it. Number 5 on my list, Magnus Robot Fighter Zero. Valiant was also the first company to put out a Zero issue. Not this one, but which also became a bit of a trend in the 90s. This book also had a coupon or a card or something inside of it. So another one to keep an eye out if you are going to pick it up and make sure it's complete. Now, there are a couple of characters, Magnus, I believe Solar and Turok, that were Valiant characters, which they actually don't own the rights to. They were Gold Key characters, and I believe another company still owns the rights. So I don't believe they're going to be movie characters, but really exciting cover. I mean, he's just bashing robots in the face. What not to love about that? Number 4 on my list is a character who is almost definitely going to be a movie. And it is the first Valiant cover I remember seeing. A buddy of mine brought it over my house and said, check out this book. And I was like, yes, I'm into this. It is Exo Man of War number 1. Another just like clean, easy to read, bold cover. Just Exo in his armor, shooting stuff. Just looks nice. I don't know what else to say about it. It's a nice cover, right? Number 3 on my list is yet another Barry Windsor Smith cover. I think he is a tremendous artist and did a lot of great work in this era. Solar, Man of the Atom number 1. Again, not going to be in the movies as far as I'm aware because of the rights, but just a beautiful cover. Great colors, great line work. I think there's a trend with a lot of these Valiant books where it's just the character, especially in the early issues where it's just an introduction that says like, hey, this is the character, check them out. I think that was a really smart choice, and it really paid dividends for them because it made people want to pick them up and say, what's this all about? What's this new character? It didn't leave a lot of confusion of like extraneous this and that. I mean, obviously a lot of the later covers did have that, but these early covers were very straightforward and very bold and very, they captured you and drew you in. I think that's a big part of what I love about a lot of them. So, Solar, number 1. Number 2 on my list, my favorite Valiant character of all time. Just immediately captured my interest, my attention. Rye number 1. This is a book that I missed when it first came out because it had already been released by the time I started getting into Valiant, like a lot of these books. And I remember paying, I don't know, $15-20 for it back in the day because I was just so into the character and just had to own this. And for 13-year-old kid that, or 14 maybe, you know, a fairly sizable amount of money in 1993, 94. It's just a, you know, I, I keep saying this, but it's just another bold, great image introduction to a character. Um, you know, he's fighting something, big robot, or, but just again, I love the line work uh, in these covers. They're so clean, really sells you on the book. Just can't get enough of it. So if you're a Valiant fan, you can probably have guessed my number one cover um, by now, if not from the beginning, because it is generally considered to be one of the great covers of all time, never mind a great Valiant cover, and that is Rye number 0, which I have 2 copies of as well. Now, there are 2 versions of this. There's a glossy and a matte version. Um, I believe it's in the Sun. I'm not entirely sure. These both look the same. So I might need to track down a 3rd copy to get the other version. This is the first appearance of Bloodshot as Rye. So not to be confused with the first appearance of Bloodshot, which is Eternal Warrior number 4. But still a key book. Still a absolutely gorgeous, minimalist, beautiful cover that I think really, to me, is one of the best covers of all time, never mind Valiant. So that about wraps things up. My Valiant key books to pick up and my top 10 covers. If you are a Valiant fan as well, let me know in the comments if you think I missed anything, or if you think that something deserved to be in the top 10 covers that I did not include. Otherwise, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. See you soon.
Hello, Alec.
Thanks, Siri. Never turn your back to the ocean.